Hello, everyone. Well, since I last saw you, there's been quite a few mass murders, and one mass murder in particular was completely gun free. There were no guns involved, and it was still a mass murder. So you should know that if these mass murders continue, that people will go after guns, but if they if they don't have guns, they can still commit mass murders, and they'll still do it. They'll still commit mass murders. Even without guns, they can still commit mass murders as long as they have a knife or a car or both. This mass murder that I'm referring to is Parkourana. Kevin Parkourana was a killer, and he was armed with nothing but a knife, and I think it was like a Bowie knife or something like that. Killed he killed so many people. He killed 3 people, and he injured 9 others. He carjacked somebody at knife point and stabbed the man and took his minivan, and he used the minivan to drive and hit another vehicle with the minivan. Then he ditched the minivan and carjacked another guy at knife point and grabbed his SUV. I think it was a Honda Pilot. He grabbed his SUV, and then he went and on a killing spree where he hit people with the SUV and killed them and injured even more. And then he hopped out of his SUV and stabbed a man and then jumped back in his SUV, and that guy died. And finally he abandoned the SUV, and he was real close. He abandoned the SUV very close to a graduation ceremony at a high school. And the police were frantic. They didn't want him to get into the high school and start killing people at random. So they looked for him, and they finally found him and took him into custody. Now Kevin Parkourana, I think he's facing life for his role in this mass murder. But it just goes to show you that even if we take all the guns, these mass murders can continue. All a person needs to do is have a knife. That's all they need, and then they can carjack, can rob, they can steal, they can use the car that they've carjacked as a weapon to kill more people. They can drive into crowded areas and kill people. And this Kevin Parkourana was determined. He was determined, and where there's a will, there's a way. He found a way with his knife. And so all I have to say is, you can try taking people's guns away, but if any of those people had been armed, they could have stopped him right dead in his tracks, right? None of those people were armed. None of the people he killed were armed. Otherwise, he couldn't have stabbed them with his knife. They would have whipped out their gun and shot him before he stabbed them. And so it sort of begs the question, should people be armed? Should people be armed at all times? Should people be armed to the teeth? Not to the teeth, but should people carry guns just in case something like this ever happens again? It is a good question, isn't it? It's a good question whether people should be armed or not. These mass shootings and now mass stabbings and mass vehicular homicides. There's killers out there. They just find a way. We're not going to take away people's knives. And we're not going to take away people's cars, but you could still commit one of these mass murders that way. And so, boo on Kevin Parkourana, give him a thumbs down. And we don't like him. We don't like Kevin Parkourana. And, well, if you're going to, if these mass murders continue, it's going to very deeply impact our society, because anyone with a bone to pick can commit one of these crimes now, and seeing other people do it, it just emboldens them to try it themselves. So it's just going to continue. These mass murders and suicide murders are going to continue. And what can we do about it? What can we do? What can we do? We could arm ourselves. So the real question is, like, why do they want to take guns away, and what makes them think that gun control is going to work to control these mass murders if people can commit a mass murder with nothing, armed with nothing but a kitchen knife? Real good question, isn't it? I mean, you can get butcher knives at any corner mom and pop store, and you don't have to show ID to get it. A really long blade used for cooking. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. It's this Kevin Parkourana is every mother's worst nightmare. Every mother's worst nightmare is that somebody armed with only a blade can take down 3 people and injure 9 more. I wouldn't want that to happen near me where I live. I wouldn't want it to happen here. But it's just a terrible thing. And I think that Kevin Parkourana is that there's going to be copycats. There's going to be people copying him, that they just won't even bother getting a gun, that they'll just arm themselves with a knife and go to town. If only somebody, the very first person he had met, had been armed with a gun, they could have taken him down, and that would have been the end of it. That would have been the end of his reign of terror. And these things keep happening. They keep happening all over the country. The country is peppered with these things now. Now there was a shooting at a graduation. I don't know all the details, but there was a shooting at a graduation ceremony just maybe it was today. I'm not sure. Just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. It's just too much. It's too much. Too much mayhem. Too much bloodshed. And it's got to stop somewhere. It's got to stop sometime. But when it stops, who knows what's going to stop it? What's going to stop people from robbing and killing? So, in the news, the debt ceiling bill was passed, and regardless of what you think of it, regardless of these representatives calling it a turd sandwich, no matter what you think of it, it still saved our economy from collapse. And that's the main thing. It saved the economy from collapse, and it may have saved your job. It may have saved people's lives and livelihoods. And if it saves lives and if it saves livelihoods, that doesn't matter what else was in it. It lowers the national debt by $1.2 trillion over the next 2 years. And caps spending, so there's spending cuts in the bill. and there's a work requirement for certain people receiving SNAP benefits and other benefits. There's a certain work requirement for certain individuals, probably non-disabled individuals, and it's it's the best of all worlds. It's the best we could do is to pass this bill, and I want to thank Kevin McCarthy. I want to thank him. I want to thank Mitch McConnell for their hard work getting this bill passed through Congress. And I want to thank all the moderates out there, both Republican and Democrat. I want to thank the moderates for voting for this bill because it really saved my life for certain. And I know it saved a lot of other people's lives too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for passing this bill. Thank you for passing this legislation. And what else is in the news? I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Tina Turner died. And I love Tina Turner. So I'm going to miss Tina Turner. I'm going to miss her. And farewell, Tina Turner. We missed you, and I missed her. The special was dedicated to her life. I missed that. It was dedicated to her life and to her work. And it was only on BET. People could get Black Entertainment Television BET. I don't get BET, so I wasn't able to watch it. But have to listen to some Tina Turner music now. What's love got to do with it, right? Yeah, Tina Turner has died. It's very sad. And there's been some more deaths too. But, you know, people gotta die sometime, but you never know when. You never know when they're gonna die. Tina Turner lived to be ripe old age, I think, considering she was a victim of so much abuse. Tina Turner, oh man, that Ike Turner was so abusive of her. Now she's free. At last, she's free from him forever. They obviously went to two different places. Tina Turner goes to heaven and Ike Turner goes to hell. Anyway, happy to be speaking to you today. Happy that the debt ceiling bill got passed, and it was a good compromise. And the conservatives may not have gotten all of their demands, but they got some of their demands, and that's the main thing, is that people made peace with each other. Guess who didn't vote for it? Guess who didn't vote for it? It was Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren voted no on the debt ceiling bill. Boo, boo. Bernie Sanders doesn't know that he's a majority of one, that he's the only one in Congress other than Elizabeth Warren who believes that his vote counts more than everybody else's vote, and thinks that it's just a gesture, but he thinks that if he doesn't get his way is the only way, and no one agrees with him. No one agrees with Bernie Sanders, and he thinks that he's the only one, that only his vote counts, and that eventually everyone will vote his way, and everyone will be a socialist his way, and everything will go his way in the future. It's not happening. It's not happening. Bernie Sanders is not going to get his way, and nobody is following him, and he's got no followers, and he's got no one who's voting his way in Congress. So, Bernie Sanders, boo on you, Bernie Sanders. You had a chance to make a difference for the better, and you blew it. So, we don't like you anymore. And same with Elizabeth Warren. She had a chance to do something positive. She chose not to. She chose not. So, that's it for this week. Tune in next time. And I'll see you next time.